What is up, everybody? It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam. Lines are starting to shift around the NFL Week 17 betting slate as more and more sportsbooks are accepting more and more action, which means that pretty much any step along that way, there are profitable bets to make. It's profitable at the beginning of the week. It's profitable as the week goes on. It's profitable right before NFL Sunday when the games kick off. So, going to just be continuing to give out these NFL best bets as the week goes on. And today I have a bunch that I actually really like. So we can get right into it. I don't want to dilly-dally. Tons of picks that I think are really good in this video. All of them have an edge over the sportsbook, right? Sports betting, an unfortunate reality that everybody I'm sure is aware of at this point, is that sportsbooks have the edge over you. Sportsbooks charge a vig, they charge a juice. I like to just call it tax. They tax up the odds themselves. They make sure they do as best as they can to get a 50-50 payout on each side. So that way, no matter who wins or who covers, or if it goes over or under, they're making money based on the juice that they charge. So finding some sort of way to gain an edge back over the sportsbooks, incredibly valuable. One way to do that is if you're really good at modeling, you're really good at statistics and data, and you're technical enough like that, by all means. If you can create models better than the sportsbooks, that is a way to be profitable. It's very difficult. Only the select few are able to do it. For me, what I use OddsJam, and the basic process behind OddsJam is just, instead of saying trying to be smarter than all of the sports books, how about we just use the sports books against each other? So, and I'll explain exactly what I mean. So the first play that we're going to lock in here, Vikings plus 2.5 against the Packers. It's hilarious to me that the Vikings sit at 12-3 or whatever their record is, or 12-4, I think, 11-4, whatever their record is. And the Packers are at 7-8, and the Packers are favored by over a field goal, which is a big deal, right? Like that 3 points is a pretty big deal. I'm not saying that that's incorrect. I just find it funny how little respect the Vikings are getting and how much the Packers are getting despite their horrible start to the year. But the play, regardless, is the Vikings point spread plus 2.5, plus 132 odds at FanDuel. This is obviously in the Vikings-Packers game, if you didn't get that. So the math behind it, and kind of what I mean by using the sports books to take advantage of each other. So the OddsJam prices the perfect line of this to be at about plus 129.5. And these odds, the OddsJam perfect line, they're pulled from the sharpest sports books in the world, the sports books that consistently do the best job at pricing odds. So OddsJam back-tested thousands and thousands of betting opportunities over a long, extended period of time, and are still doing this daily, right? Like it's an ever-evolving formula, but collected all this data, back-tested all these betting opportunities to just try and determine who is consistently the best job, who consistently does the best job at pricing odds, who is consistently the sharpest, meaning the sports books, right? With the logic being, if we can find out which sports books, which 5, 7, 10, 3, whatever, are more often than not consistently the best at pricing odds, well, then we can just use them to set the market and then take advantage of sportsbooks that have odds mispriced compared to those sharp sportsbooks. And by mispriced, obviously in the sports bettor's favor, having a higher payout. So that's exactly what happened here here in this specific play, and then also every single other play on the Positive EV page. The sharpest sportsbooks in the world are telling you that this should be priced at about plus 129.5. We are getting it 2.5 cents higher at plus 132 at FanDuel. So even though it's a 2.5 cent gap, the slightest gap you can get between the OddsJam perfect line and the sportsbook they are placing the bet at is really valuable. And the way that what we can do, and the way that you kind of know whether it's a good bet or not, is if you click into a play, which is exactly what I've done here, it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing odds for this play. So we basically are trying to determine, is the bet that we are placing, in this case the FanDuel at plus 132, is this a true outlier compared to the rest of the sports books or not? And the answer to this one is yes. So we're getting it at plus 132 again. Look at the rest of the sports books, right? We see odds range all the way from plus 105, with the closest being plus 124. So I will say Pinnacle Sportsbook is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. They have this at plus 124 as the closest to FanDuel. But look at every other book, right? Like Pinnacle has it closer. But then Fox Bet and Bet Rivers at plus 120. And then, like I said, odds ranging all the way down to plus 105. So the majority of sportsbooks, even Pinnacle, still has it 8 cents lower. No book has it at plus 125 or above. This plus 132 is a clear outlier to the rest of the sportsbooks. So this is something that you're going to want to take advantage of. If you are placing bets that are outliers to the rest of the betting markets, more often than not, you will be profitable in the long run. And I'm not saying you're going to win every single bet, and I'm not saying you're going to profit every single day. What I am saying is that more often than not, you will be profitable. So you're going to have to endure some bad stretches of variance, which is really upsetting. You know, when you're in the middle of going through a bad stretch of variance, it can be very upsetting. When you think that, well, I'm simply never going to win a bet again. But as long as you are doing the right things, and in this case, looking at the markets, making sure that you're getting an outlier, then it will work out in your favor. I'm confident it will work out in your favor. You just kind of have to accept the downswings of things. That's just the nature of sports betting. So this is the first play, Vikings plus 2.5 against plus 2.5 plus 132 odds at FanDuel against the Packers. Next up, another plus money play, another one that has really, really good value. Arizona Cardinals plus 2 plus 140 odds against the Falcons. So look at the plus 140. Number one, I guess I should say the OddsJam Perfect line prices this just below plus 138. So basically a little over a 2-cent gap between the OddsJam Perfect line and the bet that we are placing it at. But then look at every other book, right? This is more of an outlier of what you're kind of looking for. BetRivers has this at plus 140. The closest sports book is Pinnacle, which has it at plus 127, as does XBet. And then the rest of the sports books, plus 125, plus 125, plus 120. So odds are ranging from 13 to 20 cents lower. And no book even has it at plus 130. So this is a really good play. The BetRivers Cardinals plus 2 at plus 140 odds against the Falcons. The next one that I do really like is this FanDuel Patriots versus Dolphins first half total points over 20.5. So this is at plus 100 odds at FanDuel, as I mentioned. So if you look at the markets for this one, I guess I should say the no vig odds price this at about minus 101.5. That's obviously, you still do want to look at what the no vig odds price it, and then you want to compare the rest of the sports books. So we're getting this at plus 100 at FanDuel. Plus 100 means it's 50%, right? You place 1,000 bets, you win 500 of them at plus 100 odds, you will break even. You'll exactly break even. Any number you win above 50%, you are profiting. And look at where the sports books price it. So the majority of them have it at 50-50, right? Betfred, Caesars, Bet365, WinBet, BetRivers, and Bookmaker all have it at even money. They have it at, by even money I mean they're not charging a more expensive amount, towards the over or the under, right? We see minus 110 each way. When the sports books have the over and the under at the same exact number, that means that they don't know what's more likely, so they're just making it 50-50, and then they're charging up 10 cents of juice on each side to make money. That's the juice, that's the vig that we talk about. And then we see sportsbooks, Pinnacle, or PointsBet, has the over at minus 120, the under at minus 110. They're favoring the over. We see BetOnline have the over at minus 115, the under at minus 105. They're favoring the over. As is sportsbetting.ag, the over at minus 115, the under at minus 105. The only sportsbook that favors the under is FoxBet, and we don't really give FoxBet that heavy of a weight, especially because they're the outlier here. They're the only one that has a price like this. But every other book either has it at 50-50 or above 50-50, including BetOnline, which has it above 50-50. And BetOnline is another sharp sportsbook that we use to set the market. So all in all, this is a good play. The first half total points over 20.5 at plus 100 odds in the Dolphins versus Patriots. Those are the types of things that you want to look out for. You want to look at where the rest of the sportsbooks price it, and then you want to just compare those sportsbooks where they have the both sides priced to see what they're favoring. In this case, we see a lot of them having it at 50-50, which is fine because we're getting it at plus 100, but we do see a couple favor the over, and that is the important thing, and that is why the no vig odds are for minus 106 or minus 101.66, excuse me. So this is the third play, and then I'm just going to kind of blow through these all of them I really like. Bears first quarter money line plus 175 at DraftKings. So The Bears played the Bills last week, and their first half money line was positive expected value against the Bills, and it was pretty heavily juiced, just like this. The Bears lost that game 35-13. But guess what? The Bears were winning at halftime. They were winning 10-6, I believe, at halftime. So even if a bet like this feels gross, you can still find some really, really valuable ones. And that Bears one, I took it because it was, because the math supported it. And that's the most important thing. The math supports this one. DraftKings, and again, to confirm, it's Bears first quarter money line against the Lions. DraftKings has it at plus 175. Pinnacle has it 11 yards lower at plus 164. And then we see like in the plus 140s, right? Bet Rivers plus 145. FanDuel plus 148. And then Bet365 plus 167. Caesars plus 162. So the closest book is 8 cents lower, but we don't really give any weight to Bet365. Pinnacle has it 11 cents lower. And then the other books have it even lower than that. Lower meaning more likely to occur. So even bets that feel as gross as the Bears first quarter money line or Bears first half money line can still be really valuable to take. And that Bears example from last week is the perfect example. I had a huge play on that one. It was plus 175 or something, and they got smoked, but they were winning at halftime, so the bet hit. So that one I really like. And then the last one that I wanted to highlight here was the Seattle Seahawks. This was the best value of the remaining ones. First half team total under 9.5. Similar logic here, plus 120 odds at DraftKings. Pinnacle has it at plus 107. DraftKings has it at plus 112. Both of them giving you pretty good prices here. So pretty good prices compared to the DraftKings line at plus 120. So this is going to be my fifth and final betting pick for this video. So if you guys are tailing these, comment, let me know. I think they're all good value. I've hit all of them myself. So if you are tailing, comment, let me know. But that's it. So I appreciate everybody watching, and have a good one.